Is garlic a myth? This week on The Hapless Heroes.
Do you understand the magnitude of what you have just done?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and I am your host and DM as we continue our adventure and maybe actually get into an adventure this week. Who knows? But before we do that, let's introduce the cast of characters who may or may not be getting into an adventure this week. Starting on my virtual right, we have John playing Jam Jam.
Anchovy pizza was delicious.
Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup.
That garlic pizza smells really good.
Seb as Choom Daloom.
You gotta save it. It's for our friend.
Mike as Brew Blitzbor.
Oh, I can't wait for my first adventure.
Lou as Lev Zangiv.
We have to be careful when we go in here.
And Dave as March.
There's nothing like flat pizza in a moving vehicle.
Well, speaking of moving vehicles, yours did come to a stop as we left off with you ringing a buzzer at a building at 8947 Lister Street in Sector G, Floor 3 of the Flotilla, Suite 42. The door is buzzed. You can hear the lock has unclicked, and there's a bit of a pull handle and in this sheet metal door. You can feel like you could just probably open it now and go inside.
Is it small people friendly?
Yes. I did
They're
explain all
Yep.
doors here have
So you guys would
multiple
see me.
knobs.
You would see Choom disappear into a door way too small for all of you to go through.
No. It's all one door, multiple knobs.
Oh.
Like knobs at multiple levels. Yeah.
All right. I open the door.
Yeah. Okay. Then you go inside. You can see there's the signs inside that are pointing you down the hallways to which way to get to which suite. So you follow the signs to Suite 42, presumably. I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm hoping I can make this assumption so we don't have to get distracted by other suites in this building that I am not prepared to describe.
No, we stick together and go forward. Please, Choom, stick together. Stick with group, please.
Oh, I'm sticking with
Hey,
it.
we
I
gotta
don't
get
want to
this-
get left behind.
We gotta get this thing here before it gets cold, at least.
You do notice, though, as you're walking through the halls of this building, that most of the other suites that are on this floor, right, as you're walking through, seem to all be temporary offices of some kind, right? Like each door has the suite number and a little placard that looks like it's like a digital placard that just is currently displaying information if the room is vacant, or if there's any sort of public information about hey, it's this group or this little organization or this person who has it rented out for this purpose, right? It's just kind of scrolling in a little marquee. But when you arrive as I'm sorry, go ahead, March.
No, I was just gonna be a jackass, so please ignore me there.
Okay, but you arrive at Suite 42, and there is nothing like the little digital display. If stating anything is blank, it does say that the room is occupied. However, and the door is closed. The door kind of looks like almost like a ship door, that you would see almost on a seafaring vessel, like a military vessel, just the kind of oval type door. There's no porthole or anything like that to look through, but it just kind of has that almost that metal door kind of thing to it. And it looks like the door kind of would slide into the wall to open. There is a key card reader on the outside, but the door is closed.
Who's knocking?
I knock. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we are here for work opportunity.
Ah, yes. come on in. And you hear just like a little beep and the door, slowly just like, slides open. And there's like, it's like a small conference room. It looks like there's a round table in the center here. There's like screens that are currently blank. Like on the walls, there's a couple like tables or other desks like pushed up against the walls here. I mean, the room is not that large. It's maybe about like a 20 by 20 room. But like, yeah, just a few different surfaces, a circular table in the center, and you see Proxy is just sitting at one of the chairs, or has opened the door and is now just sitting at one of the chairs with his like legs folded. And he said, "Glad you all made the right decision. Come on in, and we'll shut the door and we can start talking business." Everyone shuffles into the room. There are enough seats for everybody. However, all the seats are the same size.
Oh, I immediately hop up on the table.
Yeah. Okay.
Take a greasy Luigi's takeout. Here we brought you some to in good faith. I'm just gonna put it on the table.
You pardon us. We didn't know your position on white versus red wine. So we had to make an executive decision.
Oh, you brought pizza. I do love pizza, but you see him like sniff a little bit. Not quite a big fan of garlic though.
Jam has
Of
hopped
course
up
he's not.
on his seat, and he has like a big cup full of soda or whatever's in there. He takes a big slurp out of it, and then you kind of see him. He has in his other hand the mirror, the rear view mirror, and he's just kind of like eyeing it and trying to like angle it at Proxy.
Are you obvious about this, or are you?
I'd like to, I would like to have it be stealthy if possible.
I would like for you to make me a sleight of hand check, actually.
Larp is going
Sleight
to
of
help
hand,
with the
specifically?
distraction by grabbing a couple of slices of pizza and then, like, just, again, proceeding to shove them into their glorpness.
Okay.
Oh, that
We must be used to
actually
it by
helps
now.
quite a bit because I rolled an 18.
Okay, I rolled very poorly for my perception check. So, no, Proxy doesn't notice you doing this dumb thing as you are all just like, settling in and the pizza boxes are being opened. But Jam, make me a perception check, please.
As I'm trying to angle it just perfectly. Oh, wow, it's pretty good. 19.
There is a reflection. However, you don't it's very hard for you to kind of keep your hands like kind of in the right place to like really keep his face in focus.
Yeah,
but it
like
just
the
kind
pizza
of
box
seems
is
like
in the
every
way,
time,
and then I can see his
yeah,
clothes.
but it just kind of it just seems like every time you you try to like angle it so it's kind of like passing over like where his face would be, like it just kind of looks almost like pixelated or like obscured, like it just looks fuzzy or like you just can't actually see the features of his face at all.
Jam turns his head sharply and takes another long sip out of his close to empty cup of soda.
You need that sound effect of just like.
Yeah.
All right. So you're all settled in here. Your questions are still unanswered or answered. Who knows? I guess maybe it depends on what you decide to do with that information. And Proxy starts to, kind of start laying some things out for you. He said, okay, now would be the time for questions. But before, I guess we get into that, let me just say, all the flotilla and myself are asking for you is we are going to send you somewhere to retrieve some data that we have been made aware of. Your instructions are to just download, retrieve this data, do not read it. And he looks at March when he says that, like almost like directly, as he says, do not open the encrypted data, do not attempt to decrypt it, do not attempt to do anything that could potentially jeopardize the integrity of this information. Think of it as like a sealed envelope. It needs to remain sealed.
Hell are you looking at me like that for? Like, you think this is like my first rodeo here or something? I'm just wondering why you need these other 5.
Got a good
Well,
point.
This data isn't somewhere aboard the raft here. we're going to be sending you off-world. And he kind of uses air quotes.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, bud?
No, I'm not giving you a ship.
Damn it. Well, I gotta go to the bathroom for an unrelated reason.
Well, I will. Sorry. Jesus Christ. Okay. Woosah, woosah.
I love Dave's hyperventilation.
I would like to lobby for this man to get some adult onset inspiration, because that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, adult onset inspiration. We got time. You know, here I'll give you inspiration for that. Sure.
The audience learned more about Choom in one sentence than in like entire episodes.
Well, yeah, you gotta let us on there though. Like, sending me off world, but you're not giving me a ship.
Proxy
so I come back from the bathroom.
Yeah, Proxy clarifies. And there is actually a restroom inside of this suite because he would not let you leave out the door once it's closed. Unless it was an emergency. He clarifies and says, however, the flotilla will be providing transportation for you in the hopes that, we can. Again, we're not giving you a ship. We would be chartering a shuttle for you.
Right.
With a trusted pilot, as I do not mean this in any sort of offensive way, but the only, body of work I have for all of you is crashing a spaceship into the raft, and then whatever the heck Choom calls his racing habit. And let me tell you, that ain't gonna cut it. Can't trust you with any sort of equipment.
I don't know what he's talking about, so,
He is giving us bus driver. This is what he is talking about.
Oh, yeah, and a babysitter.
No, he's fucking negging us is what he's doing.
Yeah.
However, the flotilla is willing to provide you with means of self-defense should this data retrieval mission get more complicated. We don't expect it will, but I'm not saying that we're not interested in trying to protect our assets.
Can I insight on this? How sincere about the don't expecting problems thing?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, it's an 18.
I mean, I think he's saying that it's a rough it's rough out there, in the wider galaxy. Like, there's many factions and people and things that are not necessarily have the best interests in mind, but I mean, it doesn't feel like he's necessarily expecting things to go down, but he is very interested in ensuring that, you complete this and are successful.
I'm gonna get closer to Proxy. So, anyone else after this information we should know about?
Yes, I assume that was probably the inevitable question that would come up. What I am able to tell you is that this information is valuable to many of the factions that exist out here. We are mainly concerned with ensuring that this data does not fall into the hands of Astral Tech, specifically.
So there's a big-ass corp after it, too.
Like I said, there would be many interested parties who would want to get their hands on this information should they know of its existence. However, at least as far as my sources are concerned, we are the only ones who are aware of this particular piece of information. It's been believed to be lost by many others, so as far as I know, my sources are airtight, and this information hasn't leaked thus far. I am simply saying this to you as a matter of I can't control. There's only so many things I can control, and believe me, I'm someone who likes to be in control. but I also have to accept that there are things I can't control. And so, that's where self-protection comes into play. Because, we're going to be sending you to a derelict space station in the DMZ. I would like everyone here to make a history check, please.
Oh, God.
No.
I got a dirty 11.
And a natural 1.
Fuck.
Oh.
13.
I shouldn't.
Unnatural 20.
I should not have this good of a roll, but an 18.
18, I'm sorry, Glorp, I missed yours because you guys said it at the same time.
Oh, 13.
13, okay. And Jam Jam?
5.
Okay. Well, Brew, March,
Somehow.
Brew, you would have learned this through the Mystic Order. They would have probably explained some of these things to you about as far as places that, like, you would know this as soon as you hear DMZ, you're like, oh yeah, that's somewhere I don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And March, obviously, you know this to be like this. There's a grouping of systems that sort of exist as almost a border between the Crimson Imperium and the New Federation, where years ago there was open war between these two factions, and many of these systems were used as sort of, I guess, like, were just the sites of many contested battles and other things. In fact, that's actually where some of the ships from the flotilla came to be. In fact, and how what the flotilla is formed out of was the sort of people who broke away from these two sides of this war. So the DMZ systems are abandoned is the wrong word to use. More just like it's lawless space, right? It's sort of these border systems that have been sort of intentionally kept empty and have not really had, they're not suited for re-civilization at this point. Many of their worlds have been ravaged, from years and years of war and shelling and all the awful things that come along with that. But you also know that among these systems, there's plenty of salvage and things to be found because, well, as much as maybe some of the things in the actual space have been picked through as far as remnants of space fights and things like that, there's still plenty of things that could be floating around out there that people haven't found a way to loot yet, for one factor or another. But it's kind of far. But I mean, a shuttle could get you guys there pretty quickly, if it was following some of the, the current like travel lanes out there in the astral sea. But they're kind of sending you on a bit of a dangerous mission here, given where he's saying this location is. And he says, our people have learned of a derelict station there that was once used as a research outpost. It was abandoned during the war, and many of its systems, I think, are in disrepair at this point, just because it's been a while since anyone's lived there or worked there. But there is, we've learned of a hidden server room inside of this space station that contains a particular data set that we, like I said, would like to make sure we keep out of the hands of Astral Tech. I can give you the details on that for those of you who are more savvy with computers. We'll give you the exact directory to look for and pull down. But just need you to get in there, find the server room, find a way to, give it some power. We'll give you some equipment to potentially, get things started up again because the station is without power. And retrieve the data, and we will pay you handsomely. We will have, again, your ride will be there waiting with you, and we'll get you out of there when it's time. You just need to get in and out, and we should be able to slip you in and out without any of the other prying eyes and other factions necessarily noticing. We have our ways. You just have to trust me on that one.
You did bring up a good point. Payment. What are we talking here?
Well, in addition to the gratitude of the flotilla and its assistance with helping you find your homeworld once again, the flotilla is also willing to offer a lump sum of 5,000 GP to your group. It's a lot of scratch for those of you making.
I have 100.
Right. I mean, it's for the whole group. It's not. I'm not saying each of you, but that's it's enough to get you on your feet and potentially at least get you some more moderate living conditions. And hey, if you do a great job, I mean, there might be more opportunities waiting for you when you return as well. So this could also be maybe looked at as a chance to prove yourselves. And get you out of the squalor you're currently living in. Unless you're comfortable there. I mean, I don't mean to judge.
Now, I'm not that worried about myself, but how are we going to protect ourselves if something does go awry?
This is my favorite part. And you see Proxy turn around, and one of the screens on the wall, right? You kind of see him go to the side of it and just like push a button, and the screen itself like slides to the side, and then the wall behind it kind of flips like vertically, and it's like a weapon rack appears, and there's like melee weapons, there's guns, there's fucking like. There's just like all these types of things there. He does the same thing on the opposite wall, and you see like tactical gear and like different backpacks full of like supplies all start showing up, like all appearing like from these like hidden compartments in the walls. I will say though, all of the equipment definitely looks like it's been used. Like this is definitely salvaged or hand-me-down or second-hand equipment, but you've been pretty accustomed to the fact that everything aboard the raft here seems to have been salvaged or scavenged from some place or another. But yeah, this ain't top-of-the-line tech we're looking at. However, it's better than the nothing that you are currently equipped and using. So we're gonna do a bit of something I'd like to call an equipment montage. I'm going to go around and ask each of you some questions. All of you have some basic things in your inventory as far as things that you would have for your career, just like, like tools and whatnot, right? So we're going to cover those briefly, just to give everybody in the audience also an opportunity to understand what we're packing, but also to maybe have you describe to me what you might be finding in these hand-me-down equipment racks and like what kind of maybe weapons and things of that nature you'd like to use. We haven't changed any of the rules as far as how equipment operates. So, if we're just looking for essentially functional equivalents of what the things were, un-sci-fi flavored, but essentially offering starting equipment for everyone. So we'll get into the packs after, but let's start with just, I'm going to have everybody essentially choose, a simpler martial-like weapon and, a set of armor to put on, if you are someone who wears armor. So, I'd like to start with, let's see. Let's actually start with March. March. What would you be pulling out of or, looking for in this sort of like suite of equipment that has been presented to you? What catches your eye? And we'll adjudicate from there.
See. All right. So, First, we gotta look cool. Like this walking in there, like in my street clothes, is not gonna do. I mean, we'll get to some issues in a minute, but if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna need like some studded leather armor.
Yeah, and by studded, right? So the functional equivalent to studded leather, studded leather is definitely a thing of the past. However, there is some synth leather here that would probably act as more of like an equivalent to just regular leather armor. Studded leather is a bit outside of the, or something that of a higher grade like that might be a bit out of the range of hand-me-downs. I don't think studded leather is a starting equipment, is it?
Well, it wasn't, but well, you had mentioned. No, you're right. This would be literally issued starting equipment. Like somewhere in my brain was thinking, oh, hey, we'll purchase equipment. But that's not what we're doing right now.
No, you're being given hand-me-downs right now.
Yeah.
You might be able to purchase stuff later, or we can do some of that after this, but this is more about hand-me-down stuff. So you're not going to be finding any top-of-the-line stuff, like I said. So that's why I'm saying, we're going to be adjudicating this.
I know. Here I am airing my holiday shopping list out loud. We'll back it off a little bit. If I could, find me a nice leather jacket. One that looks like, somebody cool would wear. In size children's medium.
Again, there's things available for all shapes and sizes. Adventurers come in all shapes and sizes.
Damn
so we'll say
straight.
that, again, you have the equipment of leather armor, but it definitely looks a lot cooler. It's more like that sort of like a padded leather jacket that sort of has like woven in. It's not like necessarily armor plates, but the materials themselves that have been woven into the leather do provide some protection from both physical and ballistic damage.
Yeah, I'll take, let's see, this, the black one here with the gray shoulders on it. We're going to go with this one.
Okay. And as far as a weapon, what would you be pulling out of there? Is there like there's like, again, there's like maybe a few, like there's different like pistols, like small ones, like little, like, almost like concealable, like hand pistols. There's all the way up to like, like revolvers, and then like, magazined pistols. Again, they all look a little, I'm not gonna say rusty. They definitely look functional, but they just look like, there's not any high tech running through this, right? There's no magic infused in these things. This is gunpowder and gas kind of stuff, right? Like this is old tech.
I mean, normally I don't have much of a need for this sort of thing, but sometimes it's about the message, right? So he starts by picking up like the largest Desert Eagle 50 cal style thing they have there, which is comically oversized in his small rabbit hands.
We're
kind
gonna
of points it around a little bit, sighs, puts it back down, and grabs a reasonable 9mm style pistol.
Yeah. So it's just small arms type pistol. So so this just does 1d6 ballistic damage, and we did kind of create a ballistic damage or like damage type just to kind of highlight because it's more than just piercing damage, right? Because it works a little bit differently. So we just, we've kind of just used that as a damage type. It's kind of outlined a little bit in the modern manual as well. It makes sense in the long run because we can give armors certain actual ballistic damage protection specifically, like bulletproof vests and whatnot. So, you have it has a we'll say a 15 round magazine, and you get 3 magazines. Or I guess,
Right.
It seems to make sense. So after, we will have to track those usages because you will have to use your action to reload, right? Once you've run out.
Yes.
In addition to that, there are some different packs hanging around, and this will kind of be an opportunity for everybody else to kind of hear what's around there. So that we have the functional equivalents of the starting equipment packs, like your burglar's pack, your diplomat's pack, your dungeoneer's pack, except, just some of the items in there have been updated a little bit. So we're using the list from the modern manual. So, you have your choice of a burglar's, diplomats, dungeoneers, entertainers, explorers, priests, or scholars pack. For you, I feel like, probably your choices would be more on the burglar or explorer side, would assume, as a criminal.
Yes.
But yeah, burglar's pack is, like it's a backpack, a screwdriver, right? Glow sticks, a flashlight, crowbar, hammer, headlamp, 5 days of rations, lighter, water bottle, and then some rope. Because who doesn't need rope? Rope is always useful.
Yep. That is exactly what we're looking for as a burglar's pack.
Okay, and so that's kind of what you grab. Do you grab any sort of like knives or melee implements, or are you content with the pistol?
So we couldn't commit to the comically large pistol. We are going to commit to the comically large knife because, worst case, he wields it like a machete. So something.
You have a combat knife. Yeah, treat it like a short sword. It's a 1d6.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, like a K-bar.
Yep. Treat it like a short sword. 1d6 plus dex. Oh yeah, right. Obviously, with firearms, it's dex mods for things, kind of like same with bows, right? It's ranged weapons are dex.
I mean,
unless otherwise stated.
I realistically expect to be using Eldritch Blast every round possible,
of course,
but
sometimes
sometimes it's about the message.
Yep, sometimes it's about the message. Perfect. Lev, this is going to be an interesting one, especially as the melee character potentially, right, of the group. What catches your eye amongst these racks of hand-me-down equipment?
I imagine that there's like a kind of like the really nice pieces of weaponry and stuff that has only seen a couple of battles, if that's what I'm to kind of glean from what these things have kind of been hanging up here.
Yeah, it's like
Just
essentially like
other people's
both,
rent-a gear, basically.
potentially, or like I said, like maybe stuff that was just salvaged in like at some point in time and has been repurposed.
And I see some of the stuff that looks a little nicer and finer, and what catches Lev's eyes, like it looks like a bunch of rebar kind of put together, just welded together with like a heavy piece of metal composite at the end of it, at the very top of it.
So yeah, right. Nicer is, I guess, a subjective term, right? Because this is just made of scrap, is what you're describing. Are you talking about something like a sledge?
Yeah, in my mind, yeah, it kind of looks like a chair head.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then there's the chair seat, and then one of the legs is like bent down, and another leg is bent that way. Anyways, and that's what just at one certain angle, it kind of looks like a mangled chair, but for our purposes, it could be a hammer,
a maul,
a war hammer, yeah.
A warhammer. So
or
this is a
maul,
one-handed.
yeah. No, I'll take a maul. No, that's good too.
You want something two-handed or one-handed? Is the question I'm asking
the maul sounds great.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Treat it like
two-hand the warhammer, but we'll go with the maul.
I see no reason why you couldn't just start with that. I mean, listen, in a world where guns exist, being a melee character is a disadvantage already. For at least a little bit. Because you gotta close, So, now as someone who maybe is not necessarily accustomed to wearing armor, especially things fitted to you, I don't know if you would. I mean, especially as a barbarian. I mean, you can wear armor if you want to. I guess I'm asking you, would you like some armor, or would you prefer to rely on your unarmored defense?
No, but I
or
would.
Or your own natural armor as a
No.
Thrykeen.
I don't want any. I do not need to wear extra skin. Okay.
I see. Is there of the equipment packs that might be available there? Were there any that caught your eye?
Yeah. I also want. I want 2 javelins. Can I also get those?
2 javelins. Yes,
Do I
they
see
look
any
like sharpened
javelins?
pieces of rebar.
Perfect. I take those as well. I also would like to request a 5-foot pole.
A 5-foot pole?
Yeah.
There's no 5-foot poles here. There's only 10-foot poles, and they don't.
Do they break down?
Do they break down?
Yeah, do they unscrew at the middle?
Come apart, yeah.
Oh yeah, they collapse. Yeah.
We got a Hulk Hogan it.
But nothing like that in any of these packs, unfortunately.
Damn it. Okay. What were my options again? Is there an entertainer's pack?
There is an entertainer's pack, which includes it's a backpack, a sleeping bag, 2 costumes, you have your own costumes, but so what I will say is, there's a disguise kit in there, like a standard one, a water bottle, some rations, a flashlight, and we're also going to say that it also has like some assorted fabrics and things like that for you to be able to create additional disguises.
Damn. Why don't we come back to me on that, and
Sure.
I'll take a
Rue,
look at the thing.
You're another person who doesn't necessarily want to or need to wear armor.
Right.
However, and you have like I remember saying off mic before, you do possess already like a quarterstaff. It's more of like a walking stick, right?
Sure.
That was given to you by the.
But I can
Quarter
use it
Wanderers.
martially to, yeah.
Yes, correct. It effectively functions like a quarterstaff. But is there anything among the gear here that catches your eye?
Yeah, I'm not looking at any armor. I don't think they're gonna have anything that's gonna really be helpful for me. I mean, so like before looking at this list, I was looking for something like butterfly knives that kind of look like my horns, right? So just little knives that I can kind of just
Yeah,
fight
it would function,
with.
they would actually function as a dagger, but there's like switchblades and things like that. Yeah.
Right. But I'm also looking at this baton.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are batons. Yeah, like a there's like a police, like something like almost like a police baton. There's another thing that's like a stun baton, but it doesn't do as much damage. It does have it does have like a battery inside that has to be
But it's
recharged.
cooler.
Yeah, I'd say there's a stun baton amongst the stuff here. It's definitely a little worse for wear. The battery's I guess like charge level might not be the greatest, but there is one amongst the scattered materials here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that. That'd be
Take
great.
the stun baton. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Instead of 5 charges, this has 3 charges, and
Okay.
you will have to make sure that once the charges are expended, the only way you can get those charges back is if you have access to some sort of electricity to plug it in and charge it up again.
Okay. And we have electricity on the ship, right?
Yes.
Essentially. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure that will be challenging, but yes. Okay. I will take the stun baton. And I don't think there's anything else. So the
need a
Explorer's
pack.
pack. Yeah, Explorer's pack
makes
I think
sense.
is the smart
Yeah.
one for me.
Backpack, sleeping bag, mess kit, lighter, flashlight,
Yep.
rations,
The
water
basics.
bottle, and rope. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
And anything
Simple.
else? Any other requests before I move on?
No, but are there any like knives or daggers that kind of are similar to what I'm looking for?
Yes, I did mention there's like I said, there's like some switchblades and things like that, like some smaller like concealable knives. I mean, they would just again effectively act as like a dagger.
Sure. So that would be just on this list, combat knife or pocket knife?
Pocket knife, more like, because
Okay.
that's 1d4. It's a 1d4, not a 1d6.
Okay. But I have monk powers, so yeah, I'll do pocket knife. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll take one of those too.
Yeah. Like I said, it's more like a switchblade that kind of locks in place.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Got to start somewhere.
Cool. All right. Chew,
Yeah. So
you as an artificer, right? Like, I mean, you have access to some things, right? Like, you don't really. I don't think artificers get martial weapon proficiency. I mean, like I know like GIF have firearms proficiencies, but that's different.
yeah, I don't need it.
But you have simple weapons at least. So like
Yeah.
pistols would be considered simple, and then there's also simple melee and whatnot. So what are you looking at? What are you looking for?
So if you let this, I have a question. Would there be anything like I couldn't find it in this source, like a plasma welder or something like that?
So like like you're just talking like a blowtorch.
Yeah, but like a futuristic one where you just kind of like have it and you just like.
I mean, it's more like a tool and like an
Yeah,
improvised
it doesn't have
weapon.
to do damage.
I mean, it would have to.
Right. But it can do not a lot of damage. I don't really give a shit about that.
Interesting.
So I would
It
look
would-
for one of
it's so-
those.
Yes, this you like there is like an art like we'll call it like just like a welding tool, right? It will deal 1d6 fire damage.
Ooh, that's more than I thought.
However, I will be applying special misfire rules should you roll a nat 1
Love
for
that.
using the plasma welder.
Absolutely love that. Hell yes. Okay. Then I would
That's-
also.
and it's technically considered, we'll call it finesse and melee,
Okay.
because it's not really a ranged weapon. You kind of have to be in melee range, so we're gonna treat it as a finesse melee weapon. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, and it has. We're gonna say it has fuel, so you will need to stack a few fuel tanks with you, just for flavors purposes.
Sounds good. I will then look for that. Anything
Yeah.
I could find for that.
I mean, they're pretty commonplace, So like, I'll say you got like 4 fuel tanks for it,
Fuck yeah.
because you might get creative and find something else to do with those. So I think it's fun to give you that kind of extra tool, right?
Yes. He would grab one of the aviator's jackets or it's like a pilot suit, and he just
Yes.
grabs it, puts it on. It could be clothing. I don't really give a shit. It doesn't have to be leather or anything like that.
Well, I mean, you have. Do you have access? I think you have access to light
I
armor.
can wear
as
light
a
armor, but
artificer. Yeah,
I don't. Chum is like, it's too restricting. I'd rather be
you
free.
should rather be free. You don't want any limits to that dex bonus, huh?
As soon as he puts it on, he rips the sleeves off.
All right. 11 AC plus Dex modifier.
Let's go. Now, if you'll allow this is my kind of like.
Oh, it's another one.
Hold on. It's not crazy, but in the corner of this like equipment, like there's all this equipment, and then like kind of in the corner, there's like this little like leather backpack, and I lift it up, and inside is just this monkey wrench that to anyone else would be just like a fucking regular sized wrench, but I'm holding it, so I'm guessing club would be it easy.
We'll call it a club.
Call it a club.
1d6 bludgeoning. 1d6 bludgeoning.
And the backpack is full.
And it is light and finesse.
And the backpack I'm looking for would just be full of any components I could use as an artificer. Like there's a bunch of component necessary to do some.
I mean, you have that. You have a lot of that stuff as part of your actual like toolboxes, right? You have mechanics tools on you because from your job.
So for flavor.
But as far as an equipment pack, I'd be giving you something more akin to like. I mean, you have mechanics tools and you have like a Dungeoneers pack. No, that doesn't make any sense. It would probably just be more an Explorer's pack. I had a hard time. Just grab an Explorer's pack, right?
Sounds good.
Food, lighter, flashlight, mess kit,
actually,
right?
I'm gonna grab a spies kit. There's some stuff in there that I would like to be.
Well, spy kit's not an equipment pack. That's just a tool.
Oh, really? That's
just a tool.
That's sad.
It's not an equipment pack. Yeah.
That's sad. It's in the gear section, so I thought it was fair game.
It might be something you have to buy or make a case for, maybe requisitioning. That's not going to be something that's standard issue.
All right, I'll do the.
Because that's fun, and I like it, but that's a little bit high tech for what's being offered to you right now. Again, this is very much hand me down shit.
Okay. So yeah, then I'll just do an Explorer's pack.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Explorer's pack makes sense. Sounds good.
And then I would look at the guns, and hold my hand up to the guns, and just like.
There's one that's there's one that's literally built for like concealing, it's like a teeny tiny like little pea shooter, that would easily fit in your hands.
So I would kind of look at it, stroke my little capuchin beard. Nah, I'm gonna look and see if there's any grenades.
There are grenades. There are no fragmentation grenades. However,
I'll take anything.
However, I will say that there are. Why don't we say 3 flashbangs?
Fuck yeah.
They have a 15-foot radius and require a DC 13 Constitution save, or else they're essentially blinded for a round.
Heard. Running stuff. All right, that's. I'm not gonna take anything else.
Okay. Sounds good. Glorp. This is gonna be an interesting one because we've determined your arcane focus is the rock stuck in your chest.
Yep, we have.
So, and actually, I forgot to ask March about his arcane focus because I know off camera what that is, but that's a fun one that we need to explore after this in a second. But so Glorp, what are you eyeing up over here as the sorcerer of the party?
Yeah, so I've kind of got an idea here. So Glorp is going to grab the scholar's pack, I think, in terms of the backpack. And then grab the simple expandable baton. Just an expandable baton for a weapon.
Yep.
Now, after grabbing those things, Glorp is going to unpack their briefcase, pack their lunchbox, and their glitter pens and their sheet of space stickers and like the little like odds and ends that were in the briefcase. An MCD, a musical cube device. The vintage human music player item that Glorp has from their students, which if anybody looks really closely, you can see Glorp's vintage music mix is scratched on the side. That goes in the backpack.
Amazing.
And then I pull out a little handcrafted wand that's made out of like a popsicle stick with a glitter star on the end, very clearly crafted by the children, and I like affix that to the end of the baton before putting it in the backpack.
Okay.
It's
Love that.
completely aesthetic. It does not actually help me cast
Yep,
spells.
I understand. I love it though. Okay. Yeah, was there anything else here that caught your eye, or maybe anything that you might have noticed? Again, like I'm offering a little room for some limited creativity here to give you guys an opportunity to customize or personalize this set a bit.
So, I mean, Glorp is looking for Glorp's knowledge of what a sorcerer should be is from the children's books they have read with their students. So they are looking for a pointy hat with stars and moons on it and a cloak that also has matching stars and moons on it. And if they don't find that thing, they're going naked.
Yep, there's a magician's costume that's
Perfect.
here.
They are in a like full-on Mickey Mouse style,
like Fantasia style,
yeah.
Perfect. Love that so much for you. You definitely stand out.
Perfect.
There is unfortunately though, in the right pocket of the overcoat,
It has pockets. It has pockets.
it has pockets, but unfortunately the right pocket has a gigantic hole in it.
It has bottomless pocket.
Sorry, the
Write
the
that down.
right pocket.
Right pocket has a hole in it.
Okay, I as the player am writing that down, but Glorp as the character immediately forgets that there is a hole in the right pocket.
Sounds good. And anything else? We good on that? We good with Glorp? Just making sure I'm not.
Glorp
You
is
seem pretty
great.
ready. Okay. Jam. As the ranger, I feel like we get to have a little fun with some of the equipment that maybe you're finding here, because you might actually make use of some of the ranged weaponry that is available.
Yeah, for sure. Jam would start by getting one of the leather jackets, which is big enough on him to be pretty much a duster. And then he's
Sure.
going to look for a belt with pouches on it or a bandolier.
Yes, there is a bandolier.
Okay, so he's going to strap that on him. He's going to go and pick up one of the rifles.
Yes, it's like an old hunting rifle with a
Yep.
small scope affixed to the top of it.
You would like that?
Okay, this is an internal magazine rifle. Fits 5 rounds inside before you have to, and you can manually load rounds whenever you want as an action. And it does a D12, plus dex of damage. Treat it like a sniper rifle. Again, all of these guns have misfire things too on a nat 1. So we have a misfire table in our compendium that we get to reference if anyone nat 1s on a firearms usage. Most of the time it's going to be a jam, but for some weapons, it might get a little bit more interesting.
You would take, I guess, a machete.
Yeah, sure. Love that.
Jam is scary.
I mean, it's still it's a 1d6, but treat it like a falchion.
Just a fucking penguin with a bandolier and a machete.
Yeah.
I would love to make that movie.
And like a rifle. Are you taking any small arms as well, or just the rifle?
If I could, I would like a pistol. How many magazines?
3. 15
How many-
rounds.
And then how many were for the rifle?
So you have a box of ammunition for that, which has 20 additional rounds in it, and then the magazine has 5, the internal magazine. What are we laughing at?
We're currently laughing at giving away Monday, Tumble Over Young Man, and the Pre-Owned, which is a part of Glorp's vintage music mix.
I posted a sample of my music just mixed.
You'll have to. You're gonna post this in our Discord server.
Oh yeah,
once
those
this
are
episode
to be
airs, yeah.
referenced later. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Is there a smoke grenade?
Sure. I'll say there's a smoke grenade. Just one.
Yep. And then I'm trying to decide if I want the burglar's pouch or the adventurer's one.
It's up to you, my friend.
I think he's leaning towards the burglar's pack.
Yeah, that makes sense for you.
I think that would be it for Jam.
Sounds good. So yeah, leather armor essentially, right? Burglar's
Yep.
pack, and then your weapon loadout. Okay, great. So yeah, like we kind of go through this montage of like everyone kind of like equipping themselves and like picking these things out, right? And like suiting up. And kind of Proxy looks all of you up and down and just says, "Okay, there's hope for all of you yet. I think that success is inevitable. So let's get into the details." And he takes like a little device out from his pocket and he places it on the table. It looks like a small like disc, maybe about maybe sits about 2 inches high off the table, right? It's just like it's almost like semi-spherical. And he kind of just taps it a couple times, and this big map is projected up into the room. It's a map of this like sector of the Astral Sea. You can kind of see where the flotilla is currently marked somewhere in like a lower quadrant of this like hex map. And then you can kind of see above there's the different systems. You can kind of see they're like color coded, which Astral Tech and Crimson Imperium and New Federation, and then you see there's these grayed out systems that make up this sort of border that is the DMZ. And the, I guess, like quote unquote southernmost, I'm using air quotes, right, as far as just the orientation of this flat map system of the DMZ is marked with like an X. And he kind of starts going into some of the details. He's like, okay, we're sending you to this system, the Marion system. It's the Marion cluster. There is a research station in orbit of Marion 4. Your ride will take you to wherever functional docking bays, and we'll have to force your way in as the systems are down. We'll hopefully be able to provide some equipment and maybe transfer some power from the ship. I'm also going to be providing some batteries and things like that to bring along with you in case you need to have a portable power source to hook up to some of this equipment. I trust I know that some of you are rather skilled with electrical components, so I have no doubts you'll be able to figure out how to get things hooked up and at least running temporarily. We just need the lights on long enough to extract the data and get you out of there. I will note, it has been decades since this station has been powered up. So the unknown here, and your warning, is that should this station get powered up, you might appear on the radar for some interested parties should there be anyone roaming the area. Keep your scans tight. Like I said, our pilot will do their best to monitor the situation in space and let you know if anyone's coming, but DMZ's filled with scavengers and pirates and other people who might be squatting in there, trying to lay low. And if they start seeing some lights come on some old derelict station, they're going to be thinking there's loot. So just be careful. And whatever you do, don't get caught by Astral Tech. They stop, if you get stopped or if you interact with them in any way, just don't let them know what you have. Don't let them have this data.
Succinct.
March, and he pulls out his little data pad. He kind of just flips like a little thing towards you, like a finger motion, and swipes some data, up, and you feel your little pocket device buzz as he sends you the details on what files you're looking for within the data center of this space station.
Okay.
The only information really that it shows as far as file names is it's something for Project Q. Like letter Q.
Project Q. All right, so I can expect obscene Muppets.
And he said, like I said, consider this not just a job, but this is a possible audition for joining the flotilla's ranks. As someone who's been serving under their command for a long time, I can say that they take care of their people. And if you're successful here, I would expect more work to come your way as as long as you're committed to fighting the good fight. I'm kind of sticking my neck out and putting some trust in you, but Father Hayes, like I said, he speaks highly of you. And we're just hoping that, my faith is not misplaced.
There it is. There it is. I was looking for the link here because you see you keep throwing this word trust around, but there's this huge trust mismatch going on here, right? So, I mean, on one hand, you have the very obvious fact that you do not trust us with a spaceship, dollar amount X, and on the other hand, you are trusting us to retrieve some data, dollar amount Y. Now, I don't think I gotta go too far on a limb here to tell you that Astrotech is probably gonna pay just ever so slightly more than $5,000 for this sort of stuff. You know it, I know it. In fact, I would go even further out on the limb and tell you that I could probably buy 10 of the ships that we are taking to get out here for what we could sell this thing to Astrotech for. Now that is that is a monstrous amount of trust that you think we are going to bring this, that you are betting this big that we're going to bring this back to you.
Well, I'd be willing to bet that you wouldn't want to be brushing toes with Astrotech anytime soon, March.
No, I wouldn't. You know that, I know that. But that's what I'm talking about, the trust factor there. So are you really telling us that Father Hayes' word is worth that much?
Well, it's worth enough that I was able to do some digging on my own. And like I said, you are expendable enough to go on this mission, but talented enough that I trust you can get it done. Does that make sense?
No. As he puts a grenade in his pocket.
Yeah, look at this man. Look at this man. Look down at this man. You have trusted this man with explosives.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Good. You and I understand the magnitude of what we have going on here. Do you understand the magnitude of what you have just done?
I would trust him with explosives.
Well, I mean, none of them are fatal explosives, at least. Yeah, it could be, but...
Yet.
Listen. You may not see it. Within there lies talent. I'm not one to always question methods. I think that there are many ways to skin a cat, as they say, although I feel like every tabaxi would be groaning if they heard me use that expression in this day and age.
Yeah, I think I've heard just about enough of that.
However, poorly chosen phrasing aside, I believe you all possess a certain set of skills that could use some testing.
this NPC, Jim, is literally just like, why do I feel like we're being sent to our deaths, but it's being veiled lightly and not very well?
No, I mean, I've told you flat out that, I mean, it's not like this is a risk-free mission.
Yeah,
there could be danger out there. I'm just I will be doing my best, and I will be ensuring that my people do their best to warn you of any danger should it arise.
Right.
And again, I have taken measures to adequately prepare you for any dangers you may face so that you can protect yourselves. I don't know what more I can do besides just allow you to use these skills and prove me right.
All right,
You
man.
could have a slice of that pizza.
I told you I didn't like garlic. Is there another option?
Yeah, how do you feel about consuming silver?
You see, okay, he like, you know, okay, as a sign of peace, he takes a slice of pizza, of garlic pizza, takes a big bite, and just starts chewing. Are we happy now?
So happy. Looks at the other
Great.
guys. Mouths, I don't believe it.
A driver will be by to pick you up tomorrow morning. We'll take the liberty of calling in sick for you. It's your job, so don't worry about that.
Can you request Gloria cover my shift? It's her day off, and I really would like to ruin her day.
I'll see what I can do.
Nice.
We're
You're in
working on
charge.
the solar system, so can you make sure the kids get working on their planets?
Yes. All arrangements will be made. Please, just trust that. And with that, I bid you adieu. And he gestures towards the door while still chewing on this slice of pizza. Slowly.
It's okay. There really was nothing you could do. They're still going to go off on this.
We're all walking out, and Jim's just like, I don't know, man. Something smells fishy, and it ain't just jam.
Can everybody give me what their passive perception is?
Ooh. 12.
8.
10.
12.
Wait,
Yeah,
what's
we only-
passive perception? Just 10 plus wisdom?
10 plus wisdom modifier.
Oh, mine's 11.
Yeah. All right, 11.
Unless you're proficient with perception, in which case you would also add your proficiency bonus to that as well.
13.
Oh, okay, 13 then, yeah.
I stand
Okay.
by my 8.
12.
So no one here notices anything. However, what I will say is that as you are exiting the room, the camera kind of like stays on the door for a second, right? As you guys all walk past it, and the audience sees Proxy spit out the piece of pizza that was in his mouth. And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
This motherfucker.
I love it. Fucking love it.
Fuck yeah, dudes. Hey, we're all geared out now.
The audience knows he's a vamp.
The audience.
Or he just really hates garlic pizza.
That's potential. And
So,
has
hey.
a terrible reflection.
Oh,
Hey
yeah.
now, if you like us, you could find us on the internet. We're on many places, but if you go to our link tree, which is just linkter.ee/haplessheroes, it has links to all of our social media pages, our merch shop, like all these different places you can find us, as well as the crown jewel of our internet presence, a link to our Discord server, where you can talk to all of us in the cast and interact with us and talk about these episodes and other things related to D&D or not. It's just an amazing community we foster. We're like doing listening parties every so often in there. We've been trying to maybe potentially do them for like milestones in the campaign and whatnot. So, we'd encourage you to join in there. We're posting up, whenever those events are happening. It's where most of our announcements are made. So, it's just, I don't know how else to tell you. It's a good idea to join it. You should just join it and just join us there. We want to see you there. So do that. But if you really, really, really like us, we'd love it if you left a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. All of those reviews just help us get more visibility on the show. I mean, you've heard me say this a million times, but I'm going to keep saying it, because we just love reading the nice things you have to say about us. And if we find those nice words, we'll say something nice to you on the air to acknowledge you as the 5-star human being that you are. But if you really, really, really like us, you could donate to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a whole bunch of rewards in there, behind the scenes audio and other things. Check it out. We're constantly, it's always being updated. So it's really hard for me to say at this point in time what the rewards are going to be, because by the time you're listening to this, that might look different. But we always have different stuff on there and different ways to give back to you, because, it helps keep the lights on, it helps us replace and pay for equipment. And, it's just, it helps us keep this whole amateur show running and ad free, because that's what you love and with what we love. But that's about it. You've heard my spiel, so the last thing I have to do now is just outro my wonderful cast of characters for you, and we'll start in the opposite way that we came in, on my virtual left with Dave as March.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Lou as Lev Zangiv.
Goodbye, friends.
Mike as Baru Blitzbor.
Always fun.
Seb as Choom Deloom.
Did you guys see him swallow it?
Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup.
And we bring another pizza with us?
And John as Jam Jam.
Until next time.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM. Tune in next week when we get this road on the show. Bye-bye now.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.